Hi guys, if you're just joining us, this is the story of a young lady who was wrongfully accused by a supposed boyfriend for drugs and is going to life imprisonment in South Korea. If you missed the start part 1 2 up to part 5 of this story, please scroll back. You're going to see it, watch it, and then you can join us here.
All right, part 5. This is my last part for the night, and after this, I'll probably get on live. We'll see. It's 2:50 a.m. So, anyway, the tooth. I think that tooth is still in his mouth. If there is a missing tooth, I think it happened long before my situation with him. I think that him complaining about a tooth and missing a tooth and all of that, I think that that was just a ploy for it to be acceptable for him to have painkillers around me. Because I have quite literally already been very adamant about no drugs, you know? Like, your friend already told me you had a bad spell. Okay, I accepted that. We moved on from that. There's no such thing as drugs around me. So I think that's what the tooth situation was. Like, it was just for him to be able to have Percocets around me. So with a narcissist, you always get the truth within a lie. Always get the truth within a lie. So with him being like, oh, I never take boat, or I'll never do meth, or whatever the case may be, something I would never even think about. That's because that's what he was doing. So when he was mumbling and babbling off at the mouth, that was boat. Mind you, I'm telling this story in hindsight. Hindsight is 2020. Now I've done the research. Now I've talked to people who know him. And now I've kind of figured out like all this stuff that was happening. You know what I mean? So I'm telling this story in hindsight. This is in present moment, the stuff that I know now. I did not know this stuff when it was happening. Okay? Like, so now I'm getting headaches consistently, migraines consistently. This person is now living in my house and I'm getting consistent migraines. I'm going back and forth to my doctor. My doctor's trying to figure out what's going on. We're doing brain scans. We're getting blood work. We're doing all this stuff trying to figure out why, like, I'm getting migraines the way that I'm getting them. He's switching in and out my medicines. He's giving me sample medications, like, try this, try that, try this. And we're going through this whole thing of me trying to fix these migraines. So in the midst of having all these migraines and stuff, the menace is like, you really need to try Percocets. Like, I promise you, like, it'll work. Like, just try Percocets. And he's begging me for some time to try these Percocets. And I'm like, no, my doctor got it. Like, my doctor will handle it. Don't, like, nah, like, we're figuring it out. I need to have, like, a medication that works for me, like, going into Korea anyway. So, like, we'll figure this out. You feel me? And the menace is begging me to try Percocets. So eventually, I finally try Percocets. And immediately, I'm like, why does this feel different? Because I have been prescribed Percocets in the past, multiple times. And so he's like, it's 30 milligrams. Like, you've probably only been prescribed 5 or 10 milligrams. Like, it's 30 milligrams. That's why, like, it feels different. Like, it's the same. It's just Percocets. It's just a higher dosage. I'm sure you can guess by now what those Percocets were. But I am done with this story time for right now. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm going to get on live for a little bit, maybe to clear up some questions that y'all may have or some gaps for, like, this point on to part 5. But we'll pick this up tomorrow for part 6. Bye. Y'all, I've tried to record part 6 like 5 freaking times and it keeps deleting and I'm so irritating. Like, somebody get this devil up off me. Whoever the lady is, get it off me, okay? Because something don't want this story out, but I'm gonna get it out. So back to part 5, what the Percocets were. The Percocets was fent. They were fetty. So now we are in an attempted murder situation. He gave me a medication, made it out to be something else, and it was actually something laced with something extremely deadly. If you live in America, you know that there is a fent crisis and that a lot of people die from that same situation. And yeah, this person could have literally murdered me. I didn't know that the perks were Fetty until getting to Korea. So that will come up later, but yeah, had no idea. So in my lives, everyone's been asking me about the family. What is the family saying? Where's the family? The rest of my part 6 deleted once again. This is the third time making this specific video. So where's the family? The only blood family member that I know of his is his sister. He is not in contact with any of his other blood relatives. From what I know, from what he has told me, that's also a red flag. So when I first met his sister, I met his sister very early on in the relationship. Very, 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 very early on. It was a red flag to me that he was so eager to want me to meet his sister. He was very eager for me to meet her and very eager for her to come to my home. He was not living in my home at this time, but he wanted to have dinner with her at my home. And at the time that she was visiting DC, I was kind of like confused because I'm like, why isn't she just staying at your house? Like, why is she getting a hotel? Why isn't she just staying at your home? Like, what's up? What's going on, you know? And so, you know, she comes over, whatever. Anyway, that eagerness, I think, came from him. He was using me to look like a better person in front of his sister. Like, oh, see what I have access to, see the person I'm with. Like, I was pretty much used to make the narcissist look better to the outside world. That was my role. So yeah, met her that time. It wasn't a weird interaction, but it was weird for me to have met her that early on. So fast forward to Christmas time. We were supposed to go to his sister's house for Christmas, who lives in another state. And he's like, yeah, we'll just stay with her or whatever, you know, like in the beginning, he's like, yeah, they'll take care of everything or whatever. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So closer to Christmas, he ends up telling me, yeah, my sister does not want us staying at her house. We'll need to get a hotel. And also they want us to go in half on the expenses for Christmas, like the food and everything else, which isn't abnormal or anything. But by this time, by Christmas time, he had already lost his job at the mayor's office. So I'm like, who's paying for this? Like, you expect me to pay for flights, hotel, and food at your sister's house? Absolutely not. Like, it's not happening. And so I was like, you can go to Christmas, but I'm not going over there for Christmas. Also, like, I'm like, at this point, I'm kind of like, is it me? Like, why doesn't you're her brother. Why doesn't she want you to stay at her house? Like, what's going on? And he's kind of making it seem like it's a me thing. So I'm like, well, I'm not going over there. Like, I'm not going there. So fast forward, we didn't go to Christmas. Fast forward to the time that we actually do go to her house. Now, this is where there are a lot of Easter eggs and a lot of very glaring red flags. As if the other red flags were not already glaring, these are like staring me dead in my face. We're at his sister's house. One day we take his sister's car to go to the grocery store. I'm the type of person, if I stay at your house, I'm going to contribute something. I'm going to go get something. Groceries, liquor, whatever the case may be, I'm going to get something to put in your house. I don't like to just stay at people's houses and not put something in there, you know? And so we take his sister's car to go to the grocery store. We get back later on. We use the same car to go to dinner. So it's me, him, his sister, and his sister's fiance. And we're all piling in her car, her 2-door car, to go to dinner. If you know 2-door cars, the front seat, you have to lift the lever, slide the seat up, and then once everyone gets in the back, you slide the seat back into place, right? So she and I, we get in the back, and the seat is no longer locking back into place, the front seat. He's the one that was handling the front seat. So he and his sister get in an argument because she's kind of like in sister mode, like, you're always messing up something. In the midst of their argument, he's like, well, T is me. T was in this front seat earlier, and it's probably her who broke the seat. The seat was fine before we just got in the car. Like, how was it? Like, I'm sorry, how did I just get in the middle of this, you know? And so I'm just like, what? Like, how I get in this? How did I get in this? So he's going on to say, we'll pay for it. He doesn't have a job. Who's paying for it? Like, not I, you know? And so later, I'm like, what was that? And he goes on to say, I know it wasn't you. I know that you didn't break the seat, but I just didn't want her mad at me. And I knew she wouldn't have been mad at you. I knew she wouldn't argue with you, but she would argue with me. And I just didn't want her mad at me. And I'm utterly confused because I'm sorry. What? You just tried to blame something on me. Not only like am I here visiting your family because you wanted to come visit them, but now you're kind of trying to build a wedge between me and your family. And that is what narcissists do. They make the people closest to them not like the other, like they triangulate you and they make you not like the people around them. Like, it's the weirdest freaking thing. Okay, so number 2. One day I'm coming up into like our guest room, and I come in the room and he has thrown up on the guest bathroom floor. There are white bathroom rugs in the guest bathroom floor. He throws up on them. And I'm like, what happened? This is in the middle of the day. This is the next day. This is in the dead middle of the day. No one's hungover. No one drunk that much the night before. So I'm confused as to where the throw up even came from. But obviously we know now that it was probably drugs. So he's like, I'm like, just go, put the rugs in the washing machine. He's like, no. I can't do that. What do you mean you can't put the drugs in the washing machine? I don't know. Me and my brother maybe we're a different breed. I'm like, because I can use whatever I need to use in my brother's house and we're fine. Hell, me and my brother walk out of each other's houses with each other's stuff. Like, I don't ever have to ask to use the wash machine. So I'm like, just put the rugs in the wash machine. Just wash them. Like, it's not a big deal. He's like, no, I can't do that. Like, literally freaking out because he threw up on these rugs. And so he's like, I'm going to just tell her you did it. So I walk my behind downstairs, speed walk down the steps to go tell his sister that he threw up on her rugs. And her response was, I love my brother, but he is so problematic. That should have been a red flag. I mean, all of it should have been a red flag. Should have been a red flag. And I'm just like, why would you try to blame me? Like, again, trying to make me look bad in the eyes of his sister. Like, not that I was working overtime to look good, but like, you're working overtime to make me look bad, like to make it look like I'm messing up her things and messing up her house when you're the one breaking up stuff and throwing up on people's floors. Like, why couldn't you make it to the toilet? So then one day he and I are watching TV and talking to his sister's fiance. We're all hanging out. His sister has taken a nap and we're all hanging out. Me and his sister's fiance are like kind of like laughing, joking about certain things that probably happened throughout the day. I can't really remember the conversation or anything like that. So the menace gets up. He's upset, visibly upset. And he starts walking out of the room. So obviously at this point now, I have to leave with him because out of respect, I'm not going to be up here with this woman's fiance by myself, All right. So he's visibly upset. He's walking towards the door. I'm now leaving the room behind him because out of respect, I'm not going to be in this room with this woman's fiance by myself. Right. So we're leaving the room, both of us together. And he looks at me and he's like, yeah, because you want to have sex with my sister's fiance. I'm sorry, repeat that? What was that? And I'm like, what are you talking about? He doesn't say anything. We go downstairs and I go off. We are in this house and we are in this guest room and I am going off. And I was like, you need to walk your behind back upstairs and you need to apologize to your sister's fiance. Now. He leaves the room, goes upstairs, comes back and is like, yeah, he didn't even hear me. Like, you're tripping. Like, he didn't even hear me. Y'all, when I tell y'all there's no way that man did not hear him, there's no way that man did not hear him. And I'm literally going off. And I'm like, you are that jealous and that insecure that you would literally put something like that in the atmosphere of your sister's home? Like, when I tell y'all he was working overtime to make it very uncomfortable for me to be in this house. Like, why would you even do that? So, I'm like, all right, cool. So, to take it back to the last part or whatever, the Christmas situation, because I had to redo that story so many times, I ended up missing like vital points of that story. So Christmas, after I made the decision that I was not going to Christmas, he came to me after Christmas and was like, yeah, my sister is pissed at us that we are not going, that we did not make it to Christmas. She is so upset. And I'm like, we didn't make it to Christmas because of you. Like, I don't give a shit who she's mad at, but we didn't make it to Christmas because of you. So one of the things that he would do throughout our relationship was try to use his sister's status to manipulate me. There was a lot of forms of manipulation that he would try to do. A lot of them did not work. And this is one of the ones that did not work, because I'm quite literally like, I literally don't give a shit what your sister thinks. I'm confused. And so there were multiple times throughout the relationship, yeah, my sister's not going to like you because of this. Yeah, my sister is pissed at you right now. Yeah, my sister's not. She's just not. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Like, I'm so confused. So I don't know if that worked with other people, like his, other women that wanted to be with him, wanted to be close with his sister. I don't care. I was just kind of like, I'm sorry. What? So that was one of the things that he would do for manipulation. Also, I think that this situation with his sister, that situation at his sister's house was kind of when the smear campaign started against me with his family. Mind you, me and his family got along from what I could see on my end, unless I was missing social cues. Me and his family got along well. Like his sister's fiance, we all got along well, unless I missed social cues. He did not like that. He could not stand that. And during that time, that weekend that we were at their house, he worked overtime to try to dismantle a friendship and a relationship that we were building. Also, I saw a comment that was like, he was using you to get the money from the inheritance. Yes. Yes. He was using me. He was using my status, and he was using who I was to present to his sister as this clean individual. Like, he's now clean. He's now off drugs, and he can get the inheritance. And I'm going to talk about that in maybe part 9. But right now, we're going to roll into the grape and the sexual assault. Okay, so that's going to be part 8. All right, part 8. I told y'all in the previous video that part 8 was about essay. This is a hard story to tell. I tried to record the story multiple times. The waterworks started to flow, so now I'm trying to re-record it again without any waterworks and just get through it. It is important to know about this part of the story that I could not remember any of the events that I am going to tell you. I dealt with dissociative amnesia and could not remember any of this stuff until I got to Korea, until I started reporting this man to the police station. And I distinctly remember sitting down at the police station and asking the policeman for a break because a flood of memories just came in that I did not have before. They looked at me and they said, "We understand. This always happens to people who are dealing with a lot of trauma." February 14th, 2023, Valentine's Day. I come in from work. My apartment building has decorated the lobby. It's Valentine's Day. They have champagne, they have hors d'oeuvres, chocolate covered strawberries, all the whole nine. We grab a glass of champagne. We go upstairs. I open my little gifts. My gifts include a box of Cutwater. By this time, some people are asking, what, was I just taking care of him? From what I know, he was living off of his inheritance. He had gotten some of his inheritance money from his sister. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But that's what I know. So we drink a glass of champagne. We take a nap, get up. And he has already opened a can of Cutwater for me. And it's like, come on, let's start drinking. So we drink Cutwater, we leave out, we go to this play. We get a drink from this play. And I think I may have had a couple of drinks from this play, but not enough to be drunk. The whole time I kept saying, how am I this drunk? How am I this drunk? I don't understand how I'm this drunk. This is not me. And he's like, you probably because you mix liquor, the Cutwater was tequila and then you had something else at the play or whatever, probably because you mixed. Yeah, I know how I am when I mix. That wasn't it. That wasn't it. So we get back to the house. He wanted to go out and do more stuff. I was like, absolutely not. I do not feel myself. I need to go home. We get back to the house. He looks at me and he goes, "Are we going to have sex tonight?" I jokingly respond, "Ha ha ha, we'll see." He looks at me and his face structure is not the same. His eyes have no color. They're black. And he goes, "I'm surprised I haven't forced you yet. I forced all my women." I look at him and I say, "You mean grape?" And he says, "It's not grape if you're with someone. That'll be extremely hard to prove." He proceeds to pin me down to the bed, pins my arms down, pins my legs down, and is moving forward and forcing himself on me. I am now fighting him off of me. As you can see by now, I have been drugged, so I do not have any body strength to fight like I usually could. I proceed to bite him on his neck and I think on his shoulder up here to get him off of me. That was the only form of defense that I had at this point. The next flash of memory I have is my body and head being slammed against the wall and me being choked unconscious. The next flash of memory that I have is him FaceTiming my mother and telling my mother that I just randomly attacked him. I am so drunk and I randomly attacked him out of nowhere for absolutely no reason. He is now on the phone manipulating my mother into a storyline so that I will not be able to speak my truth to her, I guess. The next flash of memory I have is me putting him out of my home, trying to get him out. He is refusing to leave. Those memories may not be in chronological order. They are flashes of memories that I have from that night. The next day, I wake up and I'm instantly looking over at him and I'm like, what happened last night? He has this complete look of guilt on his face that immediately starts to go away when he realizes that I truly cannot remember what happened. He then starts to once again create the narrative that I randomly attacked him out of nowhere. I then start getting flashes of memories in my brain, taking me back to a time when I was in elementary school and a high schooler, I believe he was a middle schooler or a high schooler, I don't know, in elementary school, tried to essay me. My brain is going back to that time, a time that I haven't thought about in years. I wake up while I'm getting up, and I now realize that my hoo-ha is in a lot of pain. I look at my body and I have bruises all down my legs and I have a handprint bruise on my arm. And now I'm starting to ask, did we have intercourse the prior night? He's like, no, absolutely not. You were so drunk. I would never touch you like that. I'd never touch you like that. Like, blah, blah, blah. You were just so drunk and out of it. For the next week, I am in bed. I cannot get up out of bed. My body did not want to function. My brain did not want to function. And I could not figure out what was going on. I could not put anything together because I had no memories of anything to put together. The only thing that I had was a flashback of something that happened to me in elementary school. I hear him on the phone with his sister, and he calls his sister and he's like, yeah, T's been just sleeping for the last couple of days. She mixed liquor on Valentine's Day and just got so drunk, and like she just can't get up out of bed. Creating another narrative. So, from what I know now, his statement about forcing all of his women is a lot. There's a lot of truth to that. I have spoken to other people who have confirmed that SA or grape has happened to them at the hands of him. And coming to terms with what happened to me that night took a very long time. This is why women don't report. Sometimes we really don't know. We don't remember. It comes back later. So be easy with people who are dealing with SA and who didn't report, because it's really not that easy when you go through something that traumatic.
So guys, how is it going with you? I hope you are enjoying the storyline so far. Please leave your comment. I really want to know if I should post more parts of this particular story. So guys, let's know in the comment section, what are your thoughts? This is a really critical, very interesting situation. I cannot understand how one woman has gone through this with a narcissist. Okay, please, like I said, drop your comment. Let's know if we should proceed on the other parts of the story. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video. Bye.